Sometimes in life, we can feel extra stuck because we're building our life to actually keep us comfortable. And I'm not saying that we're doing this on purpose or that we're doing this to ultimately be lazy or complacent or anything like that. What I'm really getting at here is that as humans, we seek comfort because we're built for survival. We're not built for success. We're not built for proliferation, really. We're built to survive. That's our instinct as humans. It's like, caveman not built to be CEO, caveman built to pick up rock and hit squirrel with it. Like that's really, if you break us down, that's what's going on between our ears. That's most of us. And I know it sounds harsh to say like, oh, like we're stuck in life because we're trying to be comfortable, but just sit with it for a second here. Think about it. It does make sense. A lot of our lives are not inherently broken in some big dramatic way. You know, that you could point at and be like, oh my God, that's the thing, burn it with fire. Like, no, like, listen, some of us are like that, but honestly, I feel like a lot of people suffer from death from 1,000 paper cuts. And you know, we're living lives that are focused and organized around habit, repetition, doing it over and over and over again, avoiding discomfort, you know, having the same mornings over and over again, same routines, same way of thinking, same scrolling on the phone, same way of coping with stress or anxiety or uncomfortableness. You know, it's the same way every single day of staying just a little bit too comfy to change anything real, spending 0% of the day or a very small percentage of the day going against the grain. And we need that. Like if we're gonna grow, you don't grow from being like all smiles and all thumbs up all the time. Honestly, I think about all the times that I've grown the most and I've got the most personal, I guess, XP points. It's really when I'm not 100% satisfied with the situation. Like something in life is giving me a kick in the ass. And after a while of just maddeningly spending so much time being in your comfort space, the comfort can stop feeling like comfort. It could probably start feeling like stagnation or boredom or just being overall just terrifyingly complacent. It probably starts feeling like you're moving through the same day over and over again, living in Groundhog Day with a different date on the screen. That's effectively the only difference. And usually right around the point where people are like, oh my God, like I don't know how sustainable this is. I'm so bored. Like I don't even care if I have a bad day. I just want to have a different day. That's usually typically when people start to say like, oh, I want to change. I want real change. I'm ready to start day one or day zero of the rest of my life. You know, in that case, a lot of people would want more energy, more discipline, focus, better habits that make them feel better about themselves. A lot of the times they end up going into the gym or running and going into like fitness aspirations, which is great. You know, they want like a clearer mind. They want to get rid of that brain fog, and they want to just be overall stronger and more resilient. You know, they want to feel like they have a life that's going somewhere rather than just kind of being stuck in your bed. And don't get me wrong, like it is great to want things and it really builds character and it's good to really have those aspirations, but wanting to change and actually building that change and putting some esteemable acts behind it, they're just two different things. I know I'm kind of saying the obvious part out loud, but it's two different things. You could want it and not actually have the type of willpower to do it, and you're kind of just stuck at step one, not really moving forward. And this is exactly where 99.99999% of people get stuck. Absolutely the hardest part of the entire journey. It's hard to say and it's hard to accept, but you can't just keep living inside the same structure and the same patterns and expecting a totally different life to just spawn out of the ground. It just doesn't exist. It won't just appear in front of you. You know, at some point, the old structure has to go. You know, you could modify that old structure. You could build on top of it if it's decent enough. But if the floorboards are just absolutely falling through and the metal is rusted and there's bugs infesting it, you got to throw it out. That's just how it is. It's foundation. What we're talking about is a cement foundation. If you don't have that, you can't build on top of it. It doesn't work that way. And listen, if your previous life is good enough and you just have little different ways that you want to nitpick yourself, that's fine. But you gotta have the guts, you gotta have the honesty with yourself and the candor to really think like, okay, is this current version of my life good enough as it is and I'm just trying to accentuate it? Or are we just getting down to the foundation, ripping every page out of the notebook? Like, which is it? And be honest with yourself. This is a private conversation. You have no reason to lie to yourself. Who are you embarrassing? This part means looking at the parts of your life that keep reinforcing that same old identity that you're not happy with, the same habits, the the same emotional state, and deciding that the old setup doesn't work. It's not up to snuff. We're throwing it out. That doesn't mean chaos. That doesn't mean throwing out your whole personality, but it definitely does mean taking an audit of yourself. I mean, this is one of the biggest things that people miss. Your life, it's not shaped by big decisions. That's not the only thing that decides it. It's also shaped by repetition, what you do day in and day out. The things that you do every day that are quietly building your identity, whether you really want to acknowledge it or not. The way that you sleep, your room, the space that you exist, your productivity space, your car, your phone, your diet, your environment, your conversations, how you make people feel, your day-to-day habits, all of that is summing up to make a statement about who you are becoming. Think about trajectory. Think about the future. Think about where this thing goes in 5 years, 10 years, 1 year, 6 months. Think about trajectory. If you take a look at your days and you see them slowly becoming low effort, low attention, low standard, then over time, it's hard to say, but that's the version of you that you're going to become. It's what's normal now. So if we extrapolate that data across a graph, it doesn't look too good. But the good news is that the reverse is also true. If you put together a couple of days that are full of discipline, movement, clarity, going to the gym, intentional action, that starts becoming your normal too. So if you distribute that, the payoff is a lot better too. Like, let's say you decide to have a good day of eating or a good week of eating or a good month of eating. You're not only getting the benefit of the days that you're in a calorie deficit or you're feeling healthier, you're also getting the benefit that you're the guy who can do that. It's changing your identity. It makes it a lot more likely that you're going to have another good week the next week. Or even if you mess up one day, you're still the guy who overall has had a really good month. So you're probably going to bounce right back. You're building momentum. And just because you misstep one time doesn't mean the momentum's all cut off, because you're already deciding the pace of this game. But just a quick word of advice. That's why when you change, when you make these big changes, it can feel really overwhelming at first if you try to do it all at once. If you just throw everything on the table and say, I am a brand new man starting day 0, day 1, minute 1, second 1. You're not just changing your actions, you're also changing the entire pattern and environment. And imagine you're changing like the map you're playing a video game on. You're changing the map, you're changing the game mode, and you're also changing your class setup. Wow, like that might be actually the nerdiest analogy I ever made, but just bear with me. You're changing all of that, but if you try to do it all at once, like it's going to feel like you're playing a completely different game. You're going to relapse. You'll just go back to what's comfortable because it's your natural state. So I think a really good starting off point is just being honest with yourself, like asking yourself the question, okay, here are the patterns in my life. Here are the bad decisions and good decisions I make. Where does that trajectory go? Where do I end up in 5 years? Where do I end up in 10 years based on this? And then from there, you're able to actually look into the future, look at what you want. It creates an active conversation where you're comparing your current state to where you want to be. Like everybody has kind of like an ideal version of themselves. You're kind of seeing where you're landing on that dartboard, and you're free to adjust your trajectory, change things as you go, and rebuild that foundation. It's just really, really important to audit your life, constantly take a look at your life and be like, hey, listen, like, where is this going wrong? Where is this going right? Taking notes, being mindful about it. This is why a ton of therapists tell people to practice mindfulness. It's good to be aware of what's going on in your life. It's good to take note of it and express how you feel and really apply yourself. You're treating your life as a project that you need to work on, not just something that kind of happens to you. And that lets you feel like you have your own internal locus of control over your life and you decide what happens, rather than just the universe throw something in your lap and you got to shrug your shoulders and get depressed about it. And having these conversations can lead to further decisions like going to the gym, even when you feel behind, or even when you feel fat, or even when you feel lonely. Starting a project before you actually feel ready. Even if you don't have all the preparation, just realizing like, hey, listen, life is a big mixed bag anyway. I'm just going to get started now. Or having a difficult conversation that you've been avoiding, especially with family, friends, people like that. Having those conversations are cathartic. Now, these types of thought processes are super healthy and can really tee you up to clear up a lot of your mental space. And that gives you all the room to work on your trajectory. And right now, guys, I have a challenge for you. Let me know in the comment section right now. Type me a comment if you're watching this saying like, hey, Cozy, this is what I'm working on. I want to know what you guys are working on. What's your trajectory look like? What do you like about your life? What do you wish that you could change? Let me know in the comments. I'll be responding to as many people as I can. And also, if you guys want to get a little more interaction and work on self-improvement, I also do have a Discord link in the description. A lot of people have been joining it. Well over 100 members now, and we talk almost every day. So it's been a fun time. But that's my time, guys. Hope you guys have a great day. Take care.